Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes down at the end. I don't know, text the word just talk to 623-AZ-RECON. That's the word talk to 623-AZ-RECON. So we were talking before the show and just thought we'd just kind of round table it because we each have our own perspective of we're seeing in the market and what our thoughts are on the market. Obviously, Justin, you're on the lending side, and Ryan and I, though we each work with each other's clients, we run point on our own clients and so forth. So let's just start with you, Justin.
Yeah.
Your take on the market. What are you seeing? How are you explaining the market to people?
Well, I mean, the way I'm explaining the market, there's so many good opportunities out there, and it's so easy to see. I mean, they're everywhere. It's there's very few homes that you're battling to get. People are willing to wheel and deal. You know, one of the hardest parts that we're seeing is the gap of qualified buyers coming in. So there's two sides right now. It's either they're well qualified, everything's in line, everything's in place, or you have somebody that's struggling deeply with
to pay gas.
liability. Yeah,
just trying to figure out how to pay gas.
And has a lot of derogatory credit. The income is struggling. There's a lot of moving parts in this category, but we have wealthy people that are making moves. They see the potential in the market, and they're getting homes that they've wanted for quite some time because they're available and there's no competition and there's price reductions, just like you guys were talking about in the last show. We're just, we're struggling with the credit repairs, the tougher clients, the people that really want to own, but they're not quite there yet, But in some good cases, just something that we saw this last week, there was a home that was priced perfect in the market, and there was multiple people that came out and looked at this home. One of our clients was one of those individuals, put in a full price offer, 30-day close of escrow, 2% in earnest money, and they came back with a counter. There was multiple offers on the table. They came back with a counter wanting to waive the appraisal. I mean, when's the last time you've had anybody ask that? And
It's been a while.
I said the same thing. I was like, I don't think I've seen this since early 21, maybe mid 21. And so they waived the appraisal and they got this house, but the house was perfect. It was vacant. It was super clean, had a pool. Pool was sparkling clean, and it just brought a lot of attention to the home. And it was actually priced under value, but they ended up, I wouldn't say priced under value. It was priced right at value. But they brought a lot of attention to the home. And I'm surprised they actually didn't get a little bit more than what they were asking for just because of the activity on it. I think everybody was going out there and like, hey, I'm going to give close to an asking price. But yeah.
Well, that's why you got to know. You got to have that conversation with the listing agent when you're to make an offer. Even in this market, I'm always talking to the listing agent before I put together anything. Say, are you sitting on any offers right now or expecting any offers? Because if the answer is no, then that's great. But if they're sitting on 2 or 3 offers, now I got to play that game.
Yeah.
So where I think that the market's going, I think that there's going to be a lot of people that either sat on the fence or just aren't doing a good job of budgeting their money. We're seeing a lot of them move out of state. We are, and they're moving to places that have a little bit more affordable median or average price in their relative place where they can either get a better job and easily supply for their family. So it sucks to say that, but Maricopa County, we've had a big, huge influx of people moving here from California and Washington and other parts of the world that have just made it a little bit too pricey for some people, and it'll probably swing back because we have the land for it, right? And so I think we're going to continue to see new home builds, get the lion's share of the market because of not only their interest rate game, but people don't mind driving 45 minutes to get down,
which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you just said they're coming from California.
Yeah, they're used to it.
We drive 45 minutes in traffic just to get to the grocery store.
right.
Right.
And so we're seeing people move out. Like, I understand Whitman had like really good numbers like in 2005, and then it just kind of fell off. But I think that a lot of people did that because that was the only place that they could go, when prices were just getting nuts. We're seeing it again, but prices aren't going nuts. They're softening, and they're still moving further and further away from Central Phoenix, and people are loving it. We've been doing a ton of transactions, and like some of them are even $1 million plus properties, and they're a good hour away from downtown Phoenix. So I think that we're going to continue to get more horizontal because we have the land to do it. I think that it doesn't really matter what interest rates do. I think that if interest rates fall, then all that's really going to happen is the prices are going to go back up again, and it's basically going to cost the same amount to buy the same property, if the interest rates hit, see a 5 in front of it. It's just going to be completely counterbalanced by the pricing. And so
I think we're ready for rates to go down now.
Yeah.
A year ago I would have said, you drop that rate, it's going to get wild.
And I think, guys, in your seat, bro, you guys, we talked about this a little while ago. The numbers of LOs went from you give the stat.
Yeah, it was 340,000 at the
Loan officer.
Yeah, at the end of 2021. Now there's 53,000 nationwide. So that just tells you how much the business is slimmed up.
You guys are gonna make fuck you money when rates drop, dude. Your guys' refi, you're gonna be doing 5 refinances a day once rates hit 5.
Yeah, we will, because people are just sitting there waiting for us. We get calls all the time. Is it dropped, Justin? What's the outlook on these? Is there any hope in the near future and things like that?
People are tired of dating the rate. Remember
Geez. Well, let's see. May of 25, we were told. May of 21, we were told that rates were going to start dropping back down in May of 22. After they were going to get a hold of inflation, get it down. Never happened. And so there was a couple of those big dates, right, that came out. And
came and went.
They came and went. And we've been sitting right about the same. Now, one thing that I do got to say is at one point we were in the 8s. Being in the 6s is a lot better than the 8s. But we don't have as many people transacting as we did when we were at that point.
That's fair.
Because it just keeps slowing down.
Well, Ryan, at some point, we're going to have to let Justin know. So Ryan and I are waiting for rates to be in the 5s, and so we're launching Gerdes and Weinstein lending.
Gerdes and Weinstein Financial.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I see that. Look, he's not 100% sure I'm joking.
Yeah.
Right?
No. I'm 100%. Have fun.
Yeah. You see me use a calculator, right?
It'll be fun watching him stack a file.
Oh my goodness, it would be incredible. It would be incredible.
For me, I'm just going to speak on behalf of what I'm seeing with buyers, and I could just lump them. Well, I could lump them into 3 groups. You got the group that you already discussed that just can't afford gas and trying to get a mortgage and they can't qualify. But outside of that, I see a group of people, and they're the people that we're working with because they listen to us. And Ryan and I are currently looking for deals, and they're currently buying. There's just nothing is phasing them. They recognize that this is a great opportunity to buy. They're going to interest rates 6.6 right now.
Yeah,
we'll get the seller to buy down the rate. That's what I'm telling you about. You can have you're waiting for a rate to be in the 5s. I can deliver it to you today at the seller's expense. And so we just see people unfazed by tariffs, unfazed by the big beautiful bill, unfazed by people saying that there's going to be a big recession. They're just unfazed. They're money focused, they're wealth focused, and they understand that there's always opportunities no matter what the market is. And I see the others, to Ryan's point, they're just sitting on the fence. Mike, I don't know. I want to wait and see about tariffs. And I'm not sure about this big, beautiful bill. And I'm not sure about the war in Ukraine. And they start going through all of these excuses. And I've yet to have one person clearly articulate why those things are going to are impacting their decision to not buy. Like what is the fear? What is the concern? What do you think is going to actually happen? And nobody can really give me a clear answer on that. And so for me, as an investor myself, and you and I have been talking, I'm going to work on the next couple months buying something for my son. Do the whole college thing,
Yeah.
I don't want right now, selfishly, I don't want to see a 5, right? I want to negotiate that through seller concessions. I don't want to be competing with other buyers. I feel this immense pressure, like I got to do something, because I think prices will go up. If we wake up, rates are in the 5s, or we see a 5 in front of that, there's going to be a flood in the market. Inventory, again, has been going down because a lot of listings are frankly, they're just expiring. And they're going off the market. Sellers couldn't sell. I forgot what the exact number was, but last month we saw a nice chunk of homes flat out just go off the market because the listing expired. The seller or the listing agent couldn't sell the property, and so forth. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing those two groups, and the group that's just waiting. It pains me when I have conversations with them, because they're leaving money on the table. And I've had these conversations because it's the same people I had conversations with 3 years ago that said, hey, I'm going to sit on the fence. And then a year later, they're like, yeah, man, I should have listened to you, but now I'm going to sit on the fence because the market's going to do this. And then a year later, they're like, man, I should have. And
It just can compound, right?
It's just
compounding
keep
bad
circling
decisions,
back.
bad decisions. And so I think we're going to continue to see those types of people exit the market, like exit Phoenix or exit, go down to Tucson or go out of state or whatever.
I've seen a lot of people move to Missouri, Wisconsin, Michigan. Yeah. A lot of those states, Minnesota,
Nebraska.
Yeah. Middle America.
Yeah.
I even saw Alabama on that list.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody go.
Alabama has the lowest median price in the United States.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all relative, though. Can you get a job that's still, even if it's half the price there, can you get a job that's going to sustain that? And most of the time, the answer is yes, because a lot of people can work from home and be just fine.
I'm going to be a shrimper.
I've seen a lot of people. I'm going to be a shrimp boat captain.
Yeah.
One for me, one for the basket, one for me, and one for the basket.
I've seen a lot of people that were remote, moved out of state, and then the jobs are calling them back now.
Good.
And they're stuck. I had one individual. She had a remote position and got her VPN to say that she was in the Valley because that was part of her requirements. And they called her back to work, and she lives in Colorado, and so they were like, "Damn, what are we gonna do?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's those ones. Think about that. If you move, make sure you're good to move with your employer, because that can be tough.
You remember? You guys remember COVID? That was
I do
thing.
remember
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
And I don't know what your guys' perspective was on it, because we obviously saw everybody go remote.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan and I, you have a place up Munns Park, so I can't speak for Munns Park, but Ryan's family's got a place in Heber Overgard. I got a place in Pine Top. And so we saw it was just not only a flood of buyers buying up there,
Yeah.
but the typical buyer up there they're buying second homes, right? We saw a flood of people buying primaries because they thought that this whole remote thing was going to be a forever thing. I never in a million years thought that this whole remote thing was going to be permanent, that every company that was going remote was going to stay remote. I think companies had hope that the majority of their employees could handle working from home. But if you can't work from home, you can't work from home. If you don't have, I think it takes I can't speak for Sabrina, but Ryan and I, we married different breeds in our spouses. Like our wives both have that ability. The worst thing that you could do to either one of our wives is make them come into an office because their production will drop, right?
Well, Christine can go into an office, but yeah, she does awesome at home.
Yeah.
Sabrina was the same way, and she worked remotely for me for a really long time. Yeah, she's great at home too, but yeah.
Yeah, so I never thought of it. So these people, I mean, I just never ever assumed that it was going to be a permanent thing. Like,
well, so if we're talking about what the market's going to do, right, and we're talking about jobs, and we're talking about all these different things, like we had low rates for a really long time, and then it was kind of COVID that really kicked things into high gear. Because prior to COVID, we still had rates like at the high threes, and then COVID happened, and then it dropped down to like the high twos.
Yeah, we had COVID. Well, before COVID, we started going up. We actually were hitting in the fives right before COVID hit, and then they put all that money into mortgage-backed securities to stimulate the market.
So, moral of the story: rates were still amazing.
Amazing.
Prior to COVID. COVID obviously did a lot of down pressure, but like then you go over to like 2005. I mean, the rates
7.75.
Yeah, the rates,
7.9.
I mean,
and you felt like you were winning.
Yeah.
And so the two things that have in common there basically are FOMO, right? Like that's like all of a sudden just started catching fire, right?
Yeah.
So even if rates go down to 5, or even let's just say they went to 4.5, I don't think that's going to happen. But let's say they went to 4.5. I don't think we're going to see a ton of new transactions. I think that what we're going to really see is a slight increase in value, like up front. I think we're going to see another massive surge of refinances.
Yeah.
And then it's going to have to be some other thing that we don't know about that's going to happen, and in the wake of those low rates, that is going to spur activity again. We're going to see that massive surge of transactions. We just don't know what it is.
All right, Ryan, have you ever loaded a video into YouTube?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because you have to check that box, not appropriate for children. So the FU money reference, appreciate that.
Oh.
So the children out there will not be listening to this episode.
Oh. Well, hey, Thomas.
Leave it, Thomas. Leave it. All right. Well, honestly, this is what the three of us do all the time. A lot of times it's around cocktails. And if you just like to have a talk and cocktail, just talk about real estate, talk about the market, where we think things are going, we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word talk to 623-AZ-RECON. That's talk to 623-AZ-RECON, or just type the word talk into the comment section.